Warning: the following podcast has been rated listener R due to strong language, violent situations, drug references, sexual innuendos, and who knows what else. Listener discretion is advised. With that being said, hang on, sugar tits, because we're about to get wobbled.
All right, let's get this shit show on the road, shall we? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Get Wobbled podcast. Once again, I'm sure you guys are thinking it. My consistency has been shit. I get that with the podcast. I've been going through some ups and downs with it, just trying to figure out what I really want to do and trying to find out what I want to put out there. Like I said, I still have a lot of guests lined up. It's just trying to work their schedule into mine and trying to figure out how we're going to do things. It's difficult trying to get people on the same time schedule, and everybody has a life, and I completely get that, so just trying to figure out how we're going to play things out. And I just went through one of those spells. Like I said, I didn't know what to talk about on the podcast and was struggling to figure out what content I wanted to put out. I don't like listening to myself talk, and I just got in a slump for a minute. But got to talking with one of my good buddies, Eric. He's been on a podcast before. I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart. He's actually really been the one that's pushing and helping me get through this little slump that I'm through, and talked with me about the podcast and shit. And he's a newer listener, so getting his opinion has really helped, and just kind of see what an audience perspective might be. If there's anything you guys want to hear story wise, if there's anything you guys want to know about me, or anything you might want to hear about, definitely reach out, because I am struggling for ideas here. But Eric told me, he's like, listen, like, I listen to your podcast just to listen to you talk. And he said, I know you don't like listening to yourself talk, but he said, that's why people listen to the podcast. And I guess it didn't really cross me that way. I thought, I had to bring something to the episode, and I feel like people should take something away from every episode, or at least that was my goal, and have at least something to talk about. And I didn't feel like I had much to talk about. But he told me, he's like, dude, it doesn't have to be anything special. He said, just, getting to hear you talk and how you handle things and what's going on in your life. He said, that's why I listen. He said, it's just to get away from the world for a minute and kind of take a step back and just kind of listen and laugh with you. He said, that's why I get into it. And I thought, well, if he gets into it that way, maybe there's other people out there that do the same. And I'm going to start out by saying I appreciate you guys as supporters for the podcast, everybody that's continued to listen. I'm almost at 2,000 plays on all my episodes. And for me, that's an amazing accomplishment, especially after taking off for as long as I have. And I know, and Eric told me, the biggest thing is trying to stay consistent. And I just haven't been consistent. But even without the consistency being there, 2,000 plays on all episodes is an amazing accomplishment for me. I'm only a couple hundred, I think. I think I'm 200 plays away from 2,000 on everything that I have. So that's really cool. I think it's a great accomplishment if I could reach that. But just kind of going back to it and talking to Eric again, and bouncing some ideas off of what we wanted to do. He wants to jump on and do a mental health awareness podcast, and I think he'd be a great person to talk to about it. Getting our schedule lined up, I think we could probably do it. There's some other guys that I've got lined up too. Some mental health things I think would be really good to talk with them about. I've got guys from the motorcycle club lined up. I've got a guy I went to high school with lined up. We haven't talked since we graduated. We were super close friends back in high school. He wants to do a podcast with me. I actually asked him, I said, hey, would you want to do one? He said he'd be honored to do one. He just had some stuff going on where he's trying to get shit figured out. Had something go on, but like I said, we've got guests lined up. It's just a fact of getting the podcast recorded. Eric told me, he's like, just sit down and think of just some off the wall shit that you can talk about. Like, it doesn't have to be anything important. It doesn't have to, he said, just what's on your mind kind of thing. And I thought, you know what? I ask people that all the time. Like, what's on your mind? How's things going? What do you know? And I don't sit down and think about it myself, but we bounced ideas off each other. And he told me, he said, you just need, like, if you can put together an episode that you think's good, put it out there. And he said, just kind of see what other people also think about some of the topics that you pick about. So I had a somewhat of a busy weekend, somewhat of a weekend where I just kind of wanted to relax and chill. But I told myself, I was like, I need to get a podcast put out. I haven't put one out for a while. I need to get one in. So I told myself, I'm going to do one today after I get the shit done that I needed to get done. And what better way to do a podcast than, if I'm going to do it, I might as well get in and do it. So I'm not in the studio because I can't smoke cigars inside the house, which I respect that rule. So I came out here to the garage. I have a twisted tea in one hand, a cigar in the other, and my microphone clipped to my chest. And we are going to do this to the fullest fucking extent today. So we are getting wobbled in the garage with you guys. If you guys are sitting down having a drink, smoking your favorite smoke, whatever it shall be, we're getting fucking wobbled tonight. So let's dive into this a little bit. I'll kind of explain everything that happened this weekend, some shit that happened the prior weekend that I'll have to cover so that way you understand what's going on this weekend. And then we'll jump into the context of this new podcast episode. So last weekend, we needed some toilet paper, paper towels, just small stuff like that. But we also had a big enough order. And I guess we needed enough shit where we were going to go to Sam's Club and go ahead and get groceries out. So we load up the car, we go to Sam's Club. We're walking up and down the aisles to Sam's Club, and they do not have any toilet paper at all. They don't have any paper towels at all. The only toilet paper that they do have is the stuff that they use in schools, the single ply, read the newspaper through this toilet paper. And if, ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing that we don't skimp out on, is toilet paper or paper towels, really. I mean, we'll skimp on the paper towels a little bit. And to be honest, I'm a big Dude Wipe fan anyways, but not to plug Dude Wipes in there. But if you ain't on the wipe train yet, that's at your discretion. Whatever you so choose to do. I use the wipes. Personal preference. It is what it is. But if there's one thing that we don't skimp out around on the house, it's toilet paper. So we just said, fuck it. We've got enough toilet paper to last us a little bit. We'll go to a different store. Maybe another day, we'll get toilet paper. Well, as we're walking through the store, Sam's Club had new toilets on sale. And when we bought this house, we knew one of the issues that we were running into was the toilet in the house was originally put in when the house was built and never changed, as far as we knew. And the toilet that we had did not flush very strong. It didn't have a great water flow to begin with. It took forever for the toilet to fill up. I went to the hardware store. I bought new guts for it when I bought the house. It'd probably been a couple months after I bought the house, but put new guts in the toilet, a new water line in it. So that way, at least it filled up the tank quicker. So if we had to flush the toilet, we could flush it 2, sometimes 3 times, and then it would finally take everything with it. So we knew we eventually would need a new toilet. Well, Sam's Club had them at a decent price. And I said, hey, what do you think about just getting a toilet while we're here? She's like, well, it's not really why we came. It's not on our list. I said, I get that, but I said, it's on sale. It's only, I think the toilet we bought was only $100. It's either between 100 and 150. And I was like, let's just get it. It has everything we need. It's a universal replacement kit. It's got everything. So I said, let's just get it. And I said, I'll try to put it in today. This was a Sunday. I said, I'll try to put it in today when we get back to the house. So we wind up buying the toilet, everything else we need from Sam's Club. We get back home. She's like, hey, let's not tear into this today. She said, it's a Sunday. She said, and thank God she thinks this way too. Cause I was somewhat thinking this way, but I was like, if I just get it done, I won't have to fucking worry about it. But she's like, it's a Sunday. And you know how it is with this old house that we have bought. Everything that we've tried to replace, anytime we've ever tried to do any kind of home renovation or do anything, it's always turned into more of a headache than what it should be. You know, any job that would take normally an hour to do in this house has taken 3 to 4 easily. I mean, it always happens that way for some reason. It seems like everything we've done has always turned into a hassle. So she's like, let's just wait because the hardware store's not open today. She said, let's wait till next weekend. We can do it on a Friday or Saturday. And she said, just in case we need to go to the hardware store. So I said, okay, whatever, no big deal. So this weekend rolls around. I didn't even notice it. Somebody at work had actually told me a couple days ago. I get holidays off now with my new schedule. So I normally have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Well, now I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday this weekend due to Columbus Day. So I was like, perfect. I got an extended weekend. I got all kinds of shit that I could do this weekend. And I'm going to get the shit done that I want to get done. I'll relax the weekend. I'm going to try to get the bike out this weekend. It's supposed to be nice. But I'm like, there's all kinds of shit that I can do, and I've got plenty of time to do it. So Friday rolls around. She also took the day off so that way we could spend the day together. She said she just wanted to chill. So I told her, I said, hey, what do you think about going to Walmart? When we're out at Walmart, we'll go ahead and go and snag breakfast at it while we're at it. Let's get all the shit done, all the running that we need done. That way we can come home. The rest of the shit that we can do at home will be after we're done running in town. So we go up to Walmart, we get our good toilet paper and our good paper towels. And on our way back home, and I'm like, man, I don't want to get started on this toilet because I figured there was going to be an issue. There was going to be something that happened. Something was going to go wrong with it. I had that feeling. But anyway, I had to stop at the gas station, and I had 5 $1 bills left in my wallet after I had gotten everything that I needed. And I thought, well, I'm going to go in the gas station, just get a $5 scratch off ticket, which I don't do often. Every once in a blue moon, I'll get one, but I don't like to gamble on scratch off tickets. I'm not a big fan of it. But every once in a while, just for fun, me and my girlfriend like to do them, whatever. So I buy a $5 scratch off ticket. It's called Buckeye Bash. And I thought, well, this will be cool. The Buckeyes play this weekend. It's a big game against Oregon. It's like an Ohio themed scratch off ticket. I said, fuck it. I'll just buy that one. It's a $5 ticket. I don't give a shit. Walked about back to the car, and I showed her the scratch off ticket. And I'm like, all right, this is the one. We're retiring off this one, baby. So I give her like the spare bag of change that she keeps in her car. And I told her to pick out her lucky coin or whatever. So she picks it out, blah, 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 whatever. I go scratching off the lottery ticket, and the winning numbers at the top were 6, 30, 39, and 21. And she goes, oh, 21, that's my lucky number. And I just blew her off. I'm like, okay, whatever. So when I scratch off lottery tickets, I just do it random because that's the shit that fucking works in my head. I just randomly pick a fucking spot and I scratch it. I'll be damned if the first number I didn't scratch was 21. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I showed her the ticket. It's the one number that I scratched off was a winning number. So I'm like, okay, whatever. This probably dead now. I probably got my $5. It was a $5 winning space. I said, I probably got my $5 back out of it. It is what it is. Go to the next space that I choose. Scratch it off. It's a winning number. Scratch the prize. It's $5. Okay, so fine. I've doubled my money already, and I've only scratched 2 numbers off this fucking ticket. So Kristen records me as I'm fucking going through all this because she thinks it's funnier than hell. By the time I completely scratched this thing off, I won $50 off a $5 scratch off ticket. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, this just made my fucking day. Even if the toilet does fucking give me problems, I got $50. So I go back in the gas station and I hand the lady the card and I said, I got the right one. She started chuckling. And of course, she rings me up or she scans the ticket first and it says that I'm a winner. She goes, $50. That's a good prize there. And I said, yeah, it is. She said, you want any more scratch off tickets or you just want to cash out? And I said, if you got a crisp $50 bill in there, lady, I said, I ain't fucking betting no more because I said, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. So we just laughed. She gave me the $50 bill and I was like, this is perfect. Like, I've had a great fucking day already. So we get back to the house. There was some moving around and stuff that I needed to do too. We got a bigger deep freezer. My grandma wound up giving me a bigger deep freezer because the one that we had was just too small for some of the stuff that we needed. Stuff was always buried in it, and it was hard to find things that we needed. So I upgraded and got a bigger deep freezer. My grandma just gave it to me, so thankfully it was free for us. But so we emptied out the deep freeze that we had, put the stuff in the new deep freeze, moved stuff around in the mudroom to accommodate, moved the gun rack around because it was sitting in the mudroom as a temporary thing, but got everything moved the way we wanted. And then I told her, Kristen, she wanted to just kick back and relax for a second and catch her breath. And I was like, listen, if I don't get started on this toilet, I'm not gonna. So I need to fucking get on it. So I take the toilet into the bathroom and unbox it and everything, get everything squared away, take the old toilet off. Didn't have any problems taking the toilet off, moved it out of the way, put the new toilet down, got everything. Of course, I'm watching a YouTube video. I mean, I've helped people replace toilets before. I've never done it fully myself, but I wanted to make sure I didn't forget any fucking steps. And sometimes the instruction manuals it doesn't make any sense. So I've found YouTube videos just fucking work for me. So I've used YouTube videos for a lot of shit that I've never done before, but I put a YouTube video on and I followed step by step with the YouTube video, got everything done. I get to the very last thing that I got to do. I've already got the toilet seat on. I've got the tank on. Everything's fucking ready. All I've got to do is hook the water line up to it. I pull the water line out of the box. I screw it into the bottom of the tank and I reach over to hook it up to where the water comes out of the wall at. And the YouTube video had already told me that you may need a longer hose because sometimes it just depends on what kind of hose you have or where the toilet sits. Sometimes you might need a longer water supply line. They send you a 12-inch supply line. I hook it up. I'm probably 2 inches too fucking short to get to the water line. And I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. This is the last piece that I need to make sure this toilet doesn't leak and everything fucking will work perfectly fine if this water can hook up and not leak. So I come storming out of the bathroom. Kristen's like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I need to get a new water line. I got to go in if I can get one that's just a couple inches longer, which is the story of every man's fucking life. Everybody can use a couple extra inches. I just happen to fucking need one. But I go to the hardware store, pick up a new line, and I thought this is perfect because God told me, hey, you're going to need some extra cash for fucking with this toilet. So instead of me having $5 in my wallet, I got that $50 bill in my wallet. The hose that I needed was $7.99, and I wouldn't have been able to pay for cash with that if I only had $5 in my wallet. So I'm taking that as a sign from God as to he knew shit was going to go wrong, and he said, son, you're going to need some extra cash. And he gave it to me. So I'm perfectly okay with that. Thank you, by the way. Anyhow, I buy the new supply line. I get home. I hook everything up. Thank God everything works perfect. It doesn't leak. It doesn't nothing. I went ahead. I caulked around the bottom of the toilet, tested it 3 or 4 different times. There was no water leaking. Everything was set. I get everything finally moved back outside, all the old toilet, the old box. I get the bathroom scrubbed and cleaned up. And Kristen's like, I just want you to know something. I was like, yeah, sure. Lay it on me, babe. She goes, if you would have done this last Sunday when you said you were going to do it, the hardware store would have been closed. You would have had to drive a half hour to a hardware store open on a Sunday, hope that they were still open by the time that you got there just to get a supply line that was only a couple inches longer than what you needed. And I'm like, you're 100% right, babe. I'll admit to you, she's right 99.9% of the time. I got to give it to her. She's just fucking good at it. I'm just fucking really good at being wrong sometimes. But luckily, everything went smooth with that. We got all the chores and stuff done that we needed at the house. And I kept telling myself, I made a list of stuff that I needed to do. I got the laundry done. I got some cleaning done. I got that toilet done. And I one of the things on the list was the podcast. And I thought, I am going to do one. So this past week, Eric told me just to go through some random thoughts in my head, jot them down. And he wanted me to slowly add these clips all together and make one big episode. So for like the last week, all I've done is when a random thought pops in my head, I write it in my phone as a note. And I thought, I'm just going to mash all these together and I will figure out somehow way to push it all together and just make it like a big thought session. So this episode is going to be hard to follow, just so you guys are fully aware. I want you guys to grab your crayons, your helmet, put your seatbelt on, and just fucking be ready, because I don't even know what direction we're going with this, but we're going to make it work somehow. So if you guys just hang in there with me, we're going to get through it together somehow, some way. So to start my notes, one of the things that I thought about was a lot of people you'll see as you're driving down the road, you'll see the road signs that they put out. Vote yes on issue 1 as the election's coming closer. Vote for so-and-so. Don't vote for so-and-so. Vote yes on issue 1. Vote no on issue 1. And I thought, I understand as an adult, you're supposed to go online and read up on these issues or whatever. But to me, and what I don't understand is, why don't they give you that information at the poll when you go in to vote? Because it never tells you any of that. You go into the polls, if you've never been, Kristen's not a voter. I'll throw that out there. I don't know if she wants it out there or not, but I'll just throw it out there. Kristen's never been big on voting. She doesn't like to vote. I very much am one of those people that if you want your voice heard, you got to vote. And you can't bitch if you don't vote. So I like to bitch when shit doesn't go my way, so I'm going to vote. Anyways, when I go in for the ballot, or when anybody goes in to fill out their ballot, it doesn't say vote for one person and one person only. And it lists that person. It doesn't list what they're for or what they're against. It doesn't say vote yes or vote no on issue one and tell you what that issue is about and in a little, like a little description. But yet when you go fucking take a test somewhere, they want to know how many grapes Susie can fit in one hand and how many oranges she can fit in the other, what color the sky is. They tell you that there's 17 blades of grass in the driveway, and then they want to know what pi is equal to. So explain to me why the fuck they'll give you all this useless information when you go to take a test, but at the same time, when you're going to make a life fucking change or a decision that could change the entire world, and like they don't give you no fucking information. They expect you to do it yourself. Maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you think I'm stupid. Either way, on we go. Another thing I wrote down, where did the phrase, the grass is always greener on the other side come from? In my notes, I put, is it because that you may wish you had what somebody else has? And once you were to switch places, you'd realize what you had previously was better. So to kind of elaborate on that, like, I just wonder, why is the grass always green on the other side? Why isn't what you have okay? And I think what that's trying to say is like, of course I would always want something better. I'd love to have a better truck that I don't have to worry about doing maintenance on, or, I wouldn't have to worry if it's going to start tomorrow. I may want a better house where I don't have to worry about these small projects. Everything's done. It would have been move-in ready and everything like that. But I almost wonder if once you were to ever get to that spot, would you miss the way things were? So in my eyes, would the grass be greener on the other side all the time? But that's what the saying is. The grass is always greener on the other side. But maybe you think the same way as me. Maybe you think I'm stupid. But either way, we're keeping her going. This is a stupid question, but I want to fucking know what you guys think. All this is up for you guys too. If you guys feel a certain type of way about something, if you guys want to add to what I'm saying, if you think I'm fucking stupid and want to explain to me in like slower terms so I can fucking understand it, then maybe I can understand it and get a better grasp on it. But I would love to hear your guys' input on all this. But this is something kind of funny, and I really want to know what other people do. What's the proper way to take a fucking shower? So this sounds stupid, but I've been bald since I was 14, 15 years old. I remember shaving my head before my senior year in high school because my senior pictures were taken and I was bald then. I've had a bad hairline. I always have, but I remembered as a kid when my parents taught me, like my dad taught me how to shower, I was always taught to wash my body first and then wash your hair and then get out. Well, now, I try to maintain my beard. It's not a great beard, but I try to take care of it. Now, the first thing I do when I get in is I wash my beard. I put conditioner in my beard. I let the conditioner sit while I wash my body and my head and whatever. Sometimes I don't wash my head. Sometimes I get confused. Should you use shampoo on a dry fucking head or on a head with no hair? What's the point in doing that? Should you use body wash? Because technically body wash isn't made for your head, is it? I don't fucking know. That's just questions I have like that. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do being a bald guy? They don't have fucking bald head wash. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do there. Is Head and Shoulders only made for your head and shoulders? I don't fucking know. But nobody tells me this shit. So what's the proper way to do it? Are you supposed to wash your hair first? That way you wash all the nastiness out of your hair and it goes to your body and then you wash your body? Or do you fucking wash your body first and then do you wash your hair? I don't fucking know. Somebody tell me. Maybe you think the same way as I do. Maybe you think I'm fucking crazy. Either way, we're going on. If you play golf or cornhole to the best of your ability, your goal is to literally play the least amount of golf or cornhole that you possibly can. So if you think about it, I'm not a great golfer, but if I was to do it to the best of my ability and I said, I want to play a super fucking great game of golf today, my goal is to play less golf. So what the fuck's the point? It's like cornhole. If you want to be competitive at cornhole and you want to do the best that you can, you throw all 4 bags in the middle and you're hoping that the other person doesn't get any. But your goal is to throw as least amount of cornhole as you can. Same thing with golf. So, I mean, in my eyes, maybe that's how it is. Now, granted, I know golf fucking takes 5 fucking hours. I don't understand that either. Why golf takes so long. I'm sure it's because I'm shitty, but and I lose 100 balls. I don't understand how people can. I mean, obviously, I'm sure it comes with practice, but when I go golfing, or back when I used to golf, I'd take a whole bag of those recycled golf balls and I'd lose probably half of them. I know guys at work that will take 2 fucking golf balls or maybe 5 golf balls and not lose a one. I just, it baffles me. But what I'm saying is, maybe you understand what I'm saying. Maybe you think I'm crazy. Either way, we're moving on. Why are some people afraid to poop in public places? Why are people afraid that they can't just poop at home? Like, I'm not one of those people that have to wait till I get home to poop. I'm telling you right now, I've pooped in some strange places. And it's not because that I really wanted to, it's because I had to. I didn't have a fucking choice. So, obviously, one of the stories I may have shared, I can't remember, when I met Eric in Cleveland for the memorial, the first night that we went, we ate out at this great place. The Bourbon Barrel is what it was called. We go back to the zone car in Cleveland. We're hanging out there, and it gave me the screaming shits. I had diarrhea so fucking bad. And when I use their bathroom, their stall is probably big enough to fit a 2-foot level sideways. And I'm a big gentleman, just if you people don't fucking know me. But I've squeezed in that bathroom 3 times in the matter of probably an hour. You know, it's not the most comfortable place to do it, but I didn't have a choice. Just a couple weeks ago, Kristen and I went out to an all-you-can-eat sushi buffet down in Parkersburg. Had some sushi, had some lo mein, some steaks, some shrimp, some veggies on the side, whatever. It's an all-you-can-eat place, and then whatever you don't eat off that plate, then they charge you per weight. And I'm like, here's the thing. I'm a big guy. I'm going to order what I want, but I'm not letting these fucks charge me for food that I ain't taking nothing home. I'm going to eat what I'm going to eat. So I ate a bunch of stuff. We went to somewhere. Kristen found something on Facebook Marketplace that she went to buy somewhere. And as we're leaving that person's house, heading back towards the house, I'm like, man, I got to shit. I can feel it coming. I'm like, maybe I can wait till I get home, but we're like an hour away from the house. And I'm like, man, I don't know what I can do. My damn cigar went out. I'm talking too much, ladies and gentlemen. Got to take care of me, myself, and I first. That's a priority. All right, cigar's lit again. We're back in business. But on the way back home, I had to stop at a rest area. And the rest area was only, I don't know, maybe 25 minutes from the house. But I wasn't going to make it, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you that right now. I stopped at that rest area and Kristen was laughing. I said, babe, I can't fucking make it. I'm not going to make it. If it wasn't for this rest area, I'd had to stop along the side of the interstate, which I've also done in between Columbus and where I live now too. I was on a motorcycle ride, had the shit so bad, I got up underneath an underpass and squatted underneath an underpass, wiped my ass with a fucking COVID mask. You know, I've been in some bad situations before. And it just baffles me where some people were like, nope, my body just shuts down. I will not poop anywhere but home. Or I gotta wait till I get back to the hotel or whatever. I'm like, I'm not that guy. I will shit in an open field if I have to. Maybe you think the same way as me. Maybe you don't. Either way, we're fucking moving forward. Another topic. What is one thing yourself and other people in this world can't do, but you wish that they could? My big thing is instantaneous travel. I don't know if you'd call that, it's not time travel, but it's like, I can't fucking think of the word, probably because I've had a little bit of alcohol in my system right now and I'm not thinking the greatest clearly anyhow. But what I mean by that is, if we were to go visit, like, let's say an hour away, got to get in the car, we travel, whatever. Wouldn't it be so much easier if you could just do like they do in the fucking TV show, the movie? You click your heels 3 times and you're automatically there. And then you're like, man, I'm ready to go home. You click your heels 3 times and you're on your way, but you're back home. You know what I mean? It would eliminate on travel. You could still, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just fucking thinking some crazy ass bullshit, but it's such an inconvenience. Like, if I wanted to go visit my mom, I have to drive a half hour, 45 minutes to go see my mom. Be so much easier if I could just click my heels, go there, and then click my heels, come back. You know what I mean? I don't understand with technology the way that it is. Maybe I'm hoping we're going that way because that'd be cool as fuck maybe to do. Maybe it wouldn't be. I don't fucking know, but it would eliminate on traffic jams. I'll tell you that right now. But that's just one of the things I wish we could do. I know her and we were out somewhere. Oh, we were at her sister's house. We went over for dinner one weekend. We were out at her sister's place. And to come back to the house after we left her sister's place, it was an hour drive home. It was already late. We're both tired. And I'm like, man, it would just be so much easier if we could just fucking be home already. Like, why can't we? So that's just one of the things that I think it would be great if we could do. Maybe you think the same. Maybe you think I'm fucking stupid. Either way, we're moving on. Why is college such a sought after achievement? In my opinion, it's a waste of time and money. And I believe that anybody can be taught anything. A doctor or a lawyer can be taught how to be a doctor or lawyer within due time in the field experience. So I went to college for 2 years. I got my associate's degree in construction management and haven't used a fucking lick of it since I graduated. Now, I could move to a bigger city like Columbus, Cleveland, Akron, Canton, Cincinnati, and I probably could use my degree and to get me a better paying job, but I'd have to, move everything that I've done and I've created here to do that. And I think that it's crazy because people will say that you just need that piece of paper. You just need that diploma. That's all that people look at is to see that you've accomplished college. But why? It's such a fucking waste of money and a waste of time. I can't tell you how many classes that I took that didn't pertain to construction management. And I can't tell you how many classes that I did take that contained construction management shit that I didn't use back when I was in the field working construction. So I believe wholeheartedly that you shouldn't need a college degree. Why are we paying these universities millions of dollars or thousands of dollars in my case for these college degrees that we may never use? I've pretty much, I feel like I've got my career set and what I'm going to do. So I'm probably never going to use that carpentry, that construction management degree that I went and got, but I could have learned everything that I would have learned in college had I just stayed in construction and worked on a small company and would have saved myself thousands of dollars. Now, granted, yes, lawyers and doctors probably a little bit different, but at the same time, if you give that person enough time in the field, I'm sure they'll pick it up quicker than what they would sitting in a classroom taking fucking classes that they'll either A, never use in their life, or B, they're so fucking bored in the classroom they're too busy dicking off. You know what I mean? Like, I did a lot of dicking off in college because there was a lot of classes that I just didn't need. Granted, I graduated with a 3.8 grade point average through college. How the fuck I managed to do that, I could never tell you. But I procrastinated a lot of shit. I threw a lot of mud against the wall and it fucking stuck. It was great, but I just feel like it's a waste of time. Go to a trade school, learn that trade, get out and do the trade. If you want to do something, learn from people who've been there and done that. Those people have the experience and they have the knowledge. It's free to get. It's a lot better than wasting all your money in college. Maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you think I'm stupid. Either way, we're moving on. Should you chase happiness, or is happiness something that you should let come to you naturally? Is happiness a destination or a way of life? So one thing that I thought about when I saw this, as I was just kind of surfing the internet a little bit, in my opinion, if you chase happiness, how far are you going to chase it? How far are you going to let yourself believe that you're continuing to chase happiness? So let's say I set myself a long-term goal and that long-term goal takes, I don't know, 5 years to reach. I run that 5-year course. Let's say I do meet that expectation. I do reach that goal. Does that make me happy? Is that a true form of happiness, is seeing me achieve that goal? Well, what if I get to that 5-year goal and I'm like, this isn't really what I wanted? I'm going to set myself another goal, which is fine. I applaud you, and I think you should set goals for yourself. But what I'm getting at here is, are you chasing happiness to forever chase it? Because in my opinion, I'm one of those people, I'm going to let happiness come to me. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I enjoy doing what I do, whether that be at work, whether that be at home, I do. I enjoy my life that I have. It's not fucking perfect. It's not extravagant by any means. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, but I enjoy what I do. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm letting that happiness come to me. Now, granted, I'm working for it and but I'm not necessarily chasing it. I'm not always chasing it and going down and continuously setting bigger and better. I mean, I am setting goals for myself, like I said, but I just feel like if you're not careful, you're going to get into one of those things where you continue to chase happiness. And are you ever going to get it if you continue to chase it that long? Maybe you feel the same way about it. Maybe you think I'm stupid. Either way, we're moving on. This somewhat contradicts what my last topic was, but everybody wants to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. And they forget sometimes to live in the moment and take it all in. So, like I said, this kind of contradicts me wanting to travel fast with 3 clicks of my heels. But a lot of times I think people get too caught up and their heads too far faced forward where they're trying to get to that long-term goal. And they're saying, "Hey, look, this is what I want to accomplish." And they're so dead set and so fixated on how to get from A to B as fast as possible. And it's tough because I know I've been there before. I've done that. I'm one of those people. I set a goal for myself and I want to get to that goal and achieve it as fast as possible. But people at the same time don't like to stop and live in that moment. Take it all in, understand what's going on, accept what's going on, and live that moment as it happens. So I feel like you should definitely do that. Also, within taking into consideration all the other shit that I've said, like I said, it could be contradictory, it could not be. Hopefully, you understand what I'm saying. Maybe you agree with what I'm saying. Maybe you think I'm stupid. Either way, I think you get the point. We're moving on. Do you truly believe that all good deeds in life never go unnoticed? Or do you feel good deeds always get returned to sender? So, me in my life, I always try, and I've been raised to do it this way. I also have a religious background, so I feel like if you put a good deed out there, hopefully it snowballs and becomes something bigger, something bigger, something bigger. So, like, let's say you're at work and you see somebody swamped and you pick up a little bit of their work to help them out. Do you feel like that good deed will always go unpunished? Like, do you feel like you're going to get something in return every time because you do a good deed? Are you expecting something back in return? You know, um, or is it just one of those things you do out of the kindness of your heart just to help? You know, I hopefully believe that there is an afterlife after I'm dead and gone, and I hopefully believe that all these good deeds that I have done and things that I've accomplished in my life will then project me further on um, in the afterlife. But see, I know some people don't feel that way, but really, I guess, are you doing those good deeds and hoping that you're going to get something back in return? Or are you just doing those good deeds just to do them? I guess that's the one thing that I really wanted to get out of that. Um, a lot of people I know will only do a good deed in hopes that something good will come back to them. Like they're like in a stressful situation. They're like, maybe if I do something good, maybe something good will come back. So maybe that's what I want to try to do is put that good shit out so that way good shit comes back. But are you always expecting that? Maybe you believe the same as I do. Maybe you think the same as I do. Maybe you think I'm stupid. We're moving on either way. Have you ever wondered if someone has used you for an example explaining something? And if so, what do you think that is? So I always wonder like what people will say about me behind my back. Obviously, some people talk a lot of good about me. I'm sure some people talk a lot of shit about me, but you're going to get that either way. But one of the things I wonder is if anybody's explaining something and they're like, well, they're a good guy, but like they're kind of like a dipshit on the back end, or this guy's a really good person, but sometimes you don't know where the fuck his brain's going, or sometimes he's just out in outer space. And you ever heard that TikTok? The person asking the questions, like, have you ever wondered what is going on inside that person's head? Just so you know, this episode, this is the shit that just goes on in my head randomly through the fucking day. So that's why I said you're going to need your helmet and your crayons and your seatbelt on because shit's going to get rocky. And I believe it probably fucking has. But the point that I was trying to make there, I guess, is are people talking good about you behind your back, or are people talking shit about you? Have they used you as an example as something or somebody? They relate you to somebody. Is that person good or bad? Just kind of makes you think a little bit what people think of you behind your back or behind the scenes. I always try to make sure that I make a good first impression. I always try to keep my friends close, my enemies closer. But I just kind of wonder what other people think about who I am and what character that I put out, because I'm sure some people see a rough exterior. I'm sure some people see the motorcycle cut, the motorcycle, the podcast, where I work, if you know, and doing public safety. I'm sure people have their own opinions about that, but I honestly believe I'm probably one of the easier guys to get along with. I don't fucking get in a big knip shit or fucking, I guess I want to, I don't know what word I want to use there, but I don't get worked up too easy. I'm pretty laid back, but that's the kind of vibes that I put out. I hope that's the kind of vibes people are picking up from me. Maybe you think the same way about that. Maybe you think I'm full of shit. Either way, why don't all clothes fit to their true sizes? So I just went through this issue. Kristen asked if I wanted to try on some new jeans because I only have like 2 fucking pair of jeans, maybe 3 that were fitting me beforehand. And I was like, I really don't want to try jeans on. I got a bad memory as a kid of trying on clothes after clothes after clothes after clothes. And I know now why I did that was because my mom wanted to make sure that they fit, obviously, so that way I would wear them instead of her buying them for me and me never wearing them. But why, if you don't, man, this fucking bugs the shit out of me. If I get an XL shirt or a 2X shirt one day and the next day I buy a different XL or 2X shirt, why do they both fit different? Why can't everybody use the same fucking standard and say, okay, an XL shirt is going to fit like just like this, and it's not going to shrink in the fucking washer, or it's not going to shrink after you do the laundry? And other people go, well, this is what a 2X shirt's going to fit like. And other people are like, well, these are what this size jean is going to fit like. And other people are like, well, this is what this size jean should fit like. And they shouldn't deviate from what the fuck it says. Because some shirts I can wear in one size. Some shirts I got to go up in a size. Some shirts I got to fucking stretch out after I do the laundry because it fucking shrinks them. And it's just a pain in the fucking ass. Why can't we all use the same fucking system and everything be the same? Why has it got to be different? Maybe you think the same way as I do. Maybe you think I'm crazy. If you were to write an autobiography, what would you consider putting in it? Or what would you consider leaving out? What would you be able to put in that would keep the reader's attention and keep them entertained? I honestly believe in my life, if I were to ever write things down or make an autobiography, let's just say it is, hypothetically, part of my life, I feel like, yeah, it could be pretty interesting. Part of it's just random bullshit. And like I said, it'd probably be something like this podcast, but I'd probably have to have a fucking professional sit down and do it for me. But a lot of things I would put in it, things about work, things about how I grew up, things about how I met Kristen, and just things about the club, obviously, things about things that I love to do and I'm passionate about. I hope it would. I hope I would be able to keep a reader's attention. I hope that people would enjoy my story. The way that I grew up and learning some of the lessons that I learned and the hard way that I learned them. That's kind of like why I did this podcast. I was kind of hoping that people would get to see a side of me that maybe they've never seen before or heard before. Maybe they could learn something from my past experiences. If not, they'd maybe get a good laugh out about it. But my question to you is, do you think your life's worth somebody looking into or reading? You know what I mean? One of the best things I ever heard one of my baseball coaches say, and I'll remember this for as long as I'll probably live, but he said 90% of the world is average. 90% of the world wakes up when their alarm clock goes off. They get up, they get dressed, make a meal to take to work with them, go to work, come home, make another meal, so what, so forth, hang out for a little bit, go back to bed, repeat that same process over. That's 90% of the world. Are you part of the 10% that is not average in the world? You should be, because you're not an average human being. You're special. Something about you is special. What about you is special? Why don't you belong in that 90%? So that's one of the things I always strive to be something. I don't want to just go through the motions in life. Maybe you guys feel the same way. Maybe you think I'm crazy. And the last one that I have, me and Kristen talked about today, I'll kind of use this to wrap up the episode. We talked about it in the car. I obviously know that I have a strong opinion on this. She has a completely different opinion, being in the field that she's in, being a social worker. But the note that I put down, the term "all fuck it" can literally change your life completely. going to work, paying bills, doing mundane tasks. So what keeps you from saying, oh, fuck it? This is kind of like what I said, what makes you not average. But literally one day you can wake up and say, fuck it, I ain't going into work. Fuck it, I'm done paying the bills. I'm done paying this fucking mortgage. I'm done making this car payment. Fuck it, I'm done. You could say that about everything in life. You could say it with your own life. You could say, fuck it, I'm done. But why don't you say, oh, fuck it? What in you pushes you and makes you continue to push forward? I guess I should say. It's extremely hard. It's not easy to do. I know I don't want to fucking get up every day and work my fucking, go in. I know I got to make the bills, but why? Why do you do it? Why do you continue to do it? Is it the way you were brought up? Is it something in you that says, hey, you can't do it, and you try to prove yourself wrong every day? Is there somebody out there that you're trying to prove wrong? So what I wanted out of this episode was I'm hoping that you guys sat down, and I'm hoping you're able to follow through with it. I'm sure you're just as jumbled as my mind was. That was probably a whole week of just random fucking thoughts that I sat down and thought about. But I hope that you reach out to me, or I hope that you at least think about one of those topics that I brought up, and maybe you have a strong opinion about one, or maybe something kind of struck you a little different. Maybe you thought something different than what I thought. Maybe you thought the same way that I thought. I'd love to hear your guys' responses. You can reach out to me and tell me those responses. Um, the Facebook page, if you have a Facebook page, it's Let's Get Wobbled Podcast Facebook page. You send a direct message, it'll come straight to me. I'm also going to try to put something up. If you use Spotify, you should be able to type up a little response and send to me about what you kind of thought about one of the topics, maybe. Just I hope it kind of jogs your brain a little bit, kind of makes you think a little bit. I know a lot of podcasts I have a lot of funny shit in them, and maybe some of this wasn't funny, maybe some of it was a serious topic, but it was just shit that crossed my mind. I thought it would be something good to touch on. Like I said, I want to say a huge thanks to Eric and my Canadian brother, dude. I mean, like, we met each other at this Cleveland Memorial, and we've talked every day since. And I can't wait to see this guy at the next Cleveland Memorial. He's been helping me out with a bunch of shit. I appreciate him. I appreciate the kind words of encouragement and helping me out with some of the ideas for the podcast. I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. I know you're going to reach back out to me with some of the stuff that I talked about, because I know you're the one that's, kind of brought this episode up. So I know you're going to be the one wanting to answer some of the questions that I put out there. But thanks again so much, guys. This was a great episode 13, I believe. I got a lot of shit off my fucking head, but once again, I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope you guys enjoyed your beverage with me. I hope you enjoyed your favorite smoke. I'm going to finish up this twisted tea, burn the last little bit of this cigar, head inside, edit this podcast, and get it out for you guys. But thanks so much. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks for fucking holding on with me, because I knew it could have been a little rocky. But until next time, I'm going to finish getting wobbled. But until next time, fucking stay wobbled for me. Thank y'all.